Which means, hello, welcome. Just doing an introduction on the class and got my recording starting just a little bit late. But what that means that since I'm recording classes, anytime you are absent and can't attend over Zoom also, you can check in, log in, and watch the recorded class. I try to pause it when we're doing activities. Sometimes there's lulls and you can just kind of like fast forward through things if we're all working on something, but just know that that's available to you. I don't want anybody to miss out on anything. Likewise, if you're somebody that really wants to attend over Zoom and knows that they're going to do that, but loves to have the paper, because I hand out a lot of papers in here and we can work on paper. You can turn in assignments on paper or on the computer. If that's you and you want to have the physical papers of it, you don't have a printer at home, feel free to come and attend any one of the classes, pick up all the papers that we're going to use in here too, so that you can have it physically. Sometimes it's just whatever works better for people, right? Um, Here is our D2L shell. I really encourage you to get in here and look around. If you have not done that already, I'm going to just kind of give you a little bit of a tour so you know where to find things. This is the announcement that I sent out, just helping us get ready for class. We are going to work on reading strategies and writing for the most part in here, but we'll also do readings and writings about science and social studies a little bit. So this class is really intended to help prepare you for all three of those tests at once. Sometimes people, after they take tests, feel that they want to do a social studies or science class. Those are available. They're generally only online classes. So if you need to get a deeper dive into any of those topics, those are available. But we're hoping that we can get that kind of covered in here as well. Okay. I know Angel was asking about practice test testing. That's absolutely a possibility. I will be, in a couple weeks, we'll be making sure that everyone has a GED account. If you don't have it already, you will have access to practice tests. At the end of closer to the end of the term, people that have been attending 80% of the time can have vouchers that pay for the official tests. So they go into your account and you'll schedule them on your own. This is a testing location though. It's just across from the bathrooms, right here on this floor. So whenever you are ready to test, this is where you'll be coming back to. Um, I'm showing you here that all the work that we do on D2L you can find under content. I have it organized week by week. So if you see in this left-hand side here, week one, all the things at PCC are organized week, 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 week. So each time, each week, we have two classes. So you'll notice that there's two headings under here. So course introduction, and then next time we're going to talk about metacognition reading strategy. So same thing every time. You'll pick the week. It'll tell you what we're doing. There's two topics, one for the Monday, one for the Wednesday. So you can find this stuff. Once you open these up, you will see much more things in here, lessons, activities, videos that we're going to look at. And the last thing will be an assignment. You can open that up again, submit it that way, or we'll be here in person to handwrite it out, whichever you prefer. I am going to do this as a student so that it looks just like it would look for you. Okay. Let's get right into stuff. So for today, we're really just going to talk about how class works. We're going to look more at D2L, find those assignments, submit a very brief assignment that's just giving me more information about you. The purpose of it really is to make sure that everybody can get into their MyPCC and send me messages as needed, so that we'll all know that you can do that after that. Okay, this is reading and writing two. Has anybody in here not taken reading and writing one? Have you passed out of taking reading and writing one? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, high CASA scores do that sometimes. Sometimes we just choose this one. Anybody have taken reading and writing one?
A long time ago. I have no idea what the test are like.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I just think I messed up my scheduling. or a class got canceled or something right before I started school last term and I got stuck into.
So you just went into reading, writing too?
So,
Yes. I think you were probably supposed to be a Trinity. I bet you were.
It's
Really?
literally 4 days before the term
Okay.
started, I got switched into this class.
Okay.
Like, same with my math class, I'm pretty sure, because for like the first week and a half, almost 2 weeks, he didn't have me on the schedule.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I remember that last term. It was late and you weren't on my schedule at first either. Yeah. Yeah. That's true. So it is totally fine. No one has to take reading and writing one. Depending on your placement scores, this might be the right place for you to be if you've already got some of those basic reading and writing skills done. That's true of all GED classes kind of that we're doing here. There's no forced order or for like you have to do this in order to be able to do the next thing. It's kind of just like what is working for you? What do you need right now? So everyone's in the right place. And we just kind of go through this course and figure out if this is something that you should take again or if you're just ready to get your testing done. And we'll talk more about that as it comes up. So today, I'm just going to talk a little bit about myself so you understand who I am as a teacher. I want to get to know you. We're going to just look at the kinds of topics we're going to cover in this class, how we do it. We're going to do that little activity that's just kind of like get to know you. And then I'm going to talk about an intro to the GED. And that is going to be just an overview for anybody that is not exactly certain how you get this done. Is there anybody in here that is not seeking their GED, that is taking this just to prepare for other college classes? No, everybody's getting a GED. Okay, very good, very good. Some people do take this class, just so you know, like the adult education classes. Sometimes people are just not scoring high enough to be in particular college classes, and then they might be in here just to get kind of like ready for college classes. So that's a reason that I asked that. Not every single person's getting their GED. Okay, here's a little bit about me. This is my family. My kids are a little bit older than that right now, but there's Kate and Quinn, my two kids that are, she's in college and he's just starting college. I can't believe that's like 2 years old, 2 years ago. And he's like grown so much in the past couple years. Anyway, I have cats. I've lived in Portland for 20 some years. I'm originally from the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area. Go Steelers. Yeah. And I really like painting. I love to paint. So that was a painting that I did. I'm always working on something. Yeah, love to paint. Yeah. Anybody wants to talk about art anytime, I'm down. Angel had asked, how did I end up teaching this class? Why am I here? I got an undergraduate degree at the University of Pittsburgh in cultural anthropology. That's just like the study of people, cultures, and I like people. I guess that's part of why I'm here. I really like people. But while I was there, I got a job tutoring. And I thought I was going to tutor anthropology, and I got hired and brought in. And on my first day, they brought in all these hundreds of young students, and it was a program designed to encourage math and science for underrepresented populations. And in the first day, while I'm in front of all of the students, they say, oh, and this is Colleen, she's going to tutor algebra and chemistry. And I had just not passed my algebra class myself.
No way.
For real, for real. The sweat's pouring down. I am terrified. I don't know if I should speak up and be like, wait a second, wait a second. But I really needed the money and I needed the job. So I learned math really fast. And so I turned it around and just was like, okay. But what I learned, it was such a great experience because what I learned in my absolute dread and fear, and that motivation of like, I do not want to lose this job because it's paying and I really need it, was that a lot of the students were coming to talk to me instead of the people that knew math really well. And not that I was so great at anything, it was that I understood why they didn't understand. And people that are really good at something, sometimes it's really hard for them to explain to other people like why it's working the way it is. So that really like gave me a love of teaching, because that's just such a fun connection to have with people and to help them understand something that they couldn't. And you can really relate to it. Like when you don't understand either and you can pull somebody along with you, it's a wonderful thing. So that really changed kind of my career. I then went to graduate school to work as an educator in adult education. So these are all the places that I have taught GED at, and it's given me like a really great experience to work with really young people, much older people, like all the different reasons that people are getting their GEDs. So I have a lot of really interesting breadth of experience doing some GED stuff. If does anybody know what PYB is?
Portland Youth Builders.
Yeah, have you ever been there?
No, my girlfriend went through that program and I'm gonna do the same thing.
I love Portland Youth Builders. What a great place. Anybody know what it, you want to tell people what they do?
It's just basically like construction, so they teach you how, to either do, carpentry, yeah, it's an exchange school, so it's pretty fun. and
It's really
you get to
cool.
meet people, so.
Nice people. They've got a really great plan. It's interesting. When I was there, it might be a little bit different now. They did 2 weeks academic in the classroom and 2 weeks on the job site and 2 weeks
Yeah,
back and forth. So really cool. But they only work with people that are under 25. But great jobs come out of that. You were going to ask something else before I put you on the spot? Okay. Thank you for, that's really cool. I'm so glad. I love Portland Youth Builders, and I'm always happy to hear when people are taking advantage of what they have to offer, because they lead to some really good paying jobs too, as well as the people being just fantastic there. Okay, so one more thing that I'll kick this off. We're gonna go around the room and do introductions. One of the things that I do in this class frequently, when I can, when there's enough people, is I love it when people work together, because just like that math experience that I told you about, you will actually learn more from each other than you will from me. And so any opportunity that you have to talk amongst yourselves and work out, why you chose words that you did, or just solve problems together, it's even better than me just kind of doing this. So the more you will all get to know each other, the better off it is. So I will just kick off the introductions. We'll go and we'll do this a few times, so that people get used to it week after week. But again, I'm Colleen. I go by she, her. I'm here because I'm getting paid to be here. No, but I love this job. I really do. And I'm super excited to meet you all. One thing about myself that I'll share, because people are often very curious and don't want to ask. You might notice I'm missing some fingers. I'm also missing a leg. I was in a bad accident when I was very young. I'm fine now. Everything's good. And but people, I'm not uncomfortable talking about it. So if you have any questions, you can ask me. But yeah, just people are often curious and like, what went down there? It was a riding lawnmower accident when I was like 2. So don't put your kids on a riding lawnmower. Hot tip. It's all good. Okay, so how about starting over here? You want to tell us your name and pronouns, what you're doing here, and one thing about yourself.
My full name is Miguel Feliciano Flores. I'm a middle name Angel. And why am I in this class? Well, the reason why I'm in this class is because after getting my GED, I want to go for an RN, then it's MA, then probably, if God lets me live longer, probably become a surgeon. And one thing about myself, I used to be a drug addict. I used to shoot up meth. I'm not embarrassed of it. I'm actually pretty proud of it. For about 8 years, I did that, and now I'm sober and I'm changing my life around.
Awesome. Cool. Thanks, Angel. Yeah. Yeah.
Should I stand?
Yeah. Whatever works for you.
What's up, everybody? My name's Chris. Let's see here. I'm here to finish my GED so I can further my life. What I mean by that is I put in the time, I got a bunch of certifications, and come to find out in life, I can't use those certifications or go any further without my GED. I was with the company for about 8 years. I moved up to a supervisor position, and then that all kind of fell apart. And so then it was like, okay, well, now it's back to the job market and all the jobs that I'm qualified for now, since I got all that experience, is I can't use because I don't have the GED to back up myself. So here I am, and I'm just, here to learn and let's see, one thing to share about yourself. Just like him, I had a pretty colorful past, back in the day. I'm the same, I'm clean, I'm sober now, and I'm just trying to do what I gotta do. I have two little girls that I have to take care of. Their mother isn't around, so, I'm the one who has to put forth the effort to, make sure that they have a good life, whether they wanna go to college or not. It's, I gotta do what I gotta do. So, yeah, thank you.
Excellent, Chris.
Yeah.
How old are your girls? Right.
So my oldest just turned 9,
Uh-huh.
and then my youngest is gonna turn 8 here in July 6th.
Oh, wow. Congratulations. Nice, nice. Yeah.
My name is Josh Actor. I'm here because I'm trying to, get the groundwork so I could get college, get a film degree,
Awesome.
and be able to, get somewhere like that,
Mhm.
I guess one thing to share about myself. I was born in Arizona, and the reason why my name is Yaz is because a lot of my family history is Native American, Navajo, and it's one of the their it's a common last name is Yazi. I was named after my.
Oh, cool. Thanks, Yas. Love to talk to you about film sometime. My daughter right now is doing a film internship in Los Angeles. So I've been hearing, I'm just like, my head's just full of film stuff lately. And yeah, good luck to you. It's cool.
My name's Montez Akers. I enrolled to get my GED, just so I can go through BYD and start construction, or become a carpenter, or start an electrician, one of the two trades. One thing about myself. I guess I never really applied myself to schools because I didn't really care.
Oh.
So I guess that's just one thing that I'm gonna change around, I guess.
Yeah, nice. It takes the proper motivation to care, right? I mean, we have to have a reason. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
My name is Gabe, and my pronouns are he, him. And I enrolled into the GED class to try and learn more about it and see what I want to do.
Cool. Any little tidbit about yourself, like what you like to do in your spare time or
Like
music? What kind of music, Gabe?
all the knowledge.
All of them. Okay. Cool. Thanks. That too. You don't know? Can you tell everybody your name?
My name is Alyssa and I joined, I wrote here to get my GED. And I don't really know what I wanna do for it. I'm still fun and. One thing. I don't know, I like working.
You like working out?
No, working,
Oh, working. Where do you work?
like. Be dedicated to work.
You're dedicated to working. Okay, cool. Thanks, Alyssa. All right.
It's eternity. I'm here because my high school told me not to come back. So I didn't. But I still wanted to get like my education done. One thing about myself, I also used to have a colorful past, but I'm like 6 months sober now.
That was good.
Congratulations.
I'm Caden. Enrolled in GED classes because I guess that's what's next. Got kicked out of high school and kind of just what's next. I work already still, so I don't really have a plan, but what's next? Shit, I've been in Portland my whole life. I guess that's one thing we should.
Where do you work, Caden?
It's downtown.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Cool. Okay. You want to introduce yourself?
I'm here to get my GED, as I haven't gone to school for like 3 years now. And one thing about myself.
Hawa loves reading. Awesome. But did you finish that book? The Mango Street book? No. Oh, you're halfway. Do you want it back? Are you enjoying it or not so much?
No, I really
No.
like it. Awesome.
Oh, okay. You like reading comics. Oh, well, that's good. We are going to do some graphic novel stuff in here, so nice. And how about you, Anua? Can you introduce yourself?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, thanks.
Okay, so my name is Anua. It's pronounced Anua. Preferred pronouns is she, her, they, them. My gender identity is two-spirit. I am Indigenous. Let's see, why are you enrolled in the class? I'm here to complete my GED. I've been pushing it off for a while. I currently work in mental health and behavioral health in SUD. So I've kind of been in the field for 13 years and I just want to pivot and start my own practice. My goal is to become an LCSW and offer decolonized therapy to the youth. I have a really deep passion to work with youth. And then one thing about myself is I love to read.
Awesome. Thank you, Anua.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, thank you, everybody. I really appreciated just getting to know you a little bit, and we'll continue to do that throughout. Okay, what we plan to do in here, we're going to take a look at the class schedule, just give you a feel of the kind of topics that we're going to cover. And the content, just talk a little bit about my instructional approach and just some logistics of like assignments and how we kind of keep things rolling in here. We'll also talk about reading, writing anxiety. I know it can be anxious, provoking to both read out loud or to share your writing with others. So it's definitely an option. I'm not going to force anybody to read out loud, but I think it's a great idea and something that I guarantee you will see me make mistakes in here. You will hear me read things wrong. You will hear me flip the order of words. So please don't think that, anybody's looking for perfection here because I don't deliver that myself at all. Writing sharing, I know that takes a little while. We'll wait a couple weeks before we start sharing and exchanging writing because I know that can be a little stressful, but just know that we're all in the same boat and it's been a really great experience for people. This class is always very supportive of each other. So I'd like to just put any fears to rest there. The way I tend to do class is break it up into 3 blocks. We're going to do just a quick review of maybe the last assignment, have some discussion and instruction period for about, that takes around 50 minutes, take a good break, 10 to 15 minute break, come back and work on some activities together. And then there is either a break or work on assignments, individual help. Honestly, we usually wrap up this class within about 2 hours plus the assignment. So it'll be your option to whether you want to stay here, finish the assignment, hand it in to me, or get any help with the assignment, while we're here. Or if you're like, it's late enough, I want to get out of here and I want to finish the assignment on the computer, that's always an option available to you too. So any questions about that? How are we just kind of, yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you always have the option both ways every time, except for today when we do a one computer thing, just to make sure everybody can get on to my PCC.
Question.
Yeah.
What's the quickest way to get a hold of you? Email or is there a texting number?
Email is great, text is great too. So we'll get to the syllabus and I will show you my number. Everybody can write it down. You can absolutely text me. I love it when people send, I mean, either way is great. I get my email pretty fast. It pops up on my phone all day long. So either way that works is good. Yeah.
I texted you. Class, you never answered.
I didn't answer you. I don't think I got that, Eternity. I'm surprised to hear that. Well, I'm sorry. I am really sorry.
It's just it was like next time.
Oh,
I don't know. You still ended up having that assignment, so it's fine.
yeah. I wonder if it just got blocked in my phone or something because I don't get it.
PCC looked up your name.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I'm going to give you my actual text number right here because there's like this whole system that they give you like a fake phone number with an extension and eventually it gets to you somehow, but it doesn't really. And I don't mind people having my actual phone number. No one has abused it. So yeah.
Favorite part.
Yeah. So I'm sorry. Yes, I'm going to give you my real contact information. Yeah. So these are the kind of topics we're going to do in here. Look at reading strategies. What that means is we read different things different ways, whether we're reading for pleasure or we're reading something academic. Just kind of think about like getting in that gear, what it is that we're reading and what we need to get out of it, and just bring that kind of the appropriate level of concentration that we need to any reading. Talk about main idea and supporting details. You'll see every single one of these are topics that is absolutely covered on the GED. I am not here to waste people's time. I want everybody to pass that test. So we do main idea and supporting details. That is huge. And most of these things do apply across the social studies and science tests also. So I really do want to help you get prepared for that. Context clues. How do we identify words that we don't know or have never seen? How do we make sure that we're getting the meaning of things when there's so many new words? We'll spend some time doing that. Different kinds of writing. Sometimes we're writing for information or just to describe something. There's some persuasive writing. If you have been in my classes before, you will see some of the same stuff, the same activities. You will see a few of the same things, but the way that we're going to do assignments and readings, there'll be differences. So it'll be both similar and different. We'll talk about point of view in writing, inferences and drawing conclusions. We look a lot at visual data. There's a lot of visual data on the GED. Anybody guess what visual data might be? Yeah.
Like different graphs and ways of like deciphering what the information is trying to say to you.
100%. Graphs and charts, org charts, timelines, stuff like that. So we'll talk about that. We'll hit on a couple vital topics of social studies and science. What I think are like the biggest payoffs. Compare and contrast, cause and effect, finding evidence, and the last thing is crafting your essay. If you don't know the end of the RLA GED test, and RLA stands for Reasoning Through Language Arts. First part is multiple choice and drag and drop, a few things like that on the GED test. The second part of the test is 45 minutes to craft an essay. So we will be practicing and building toward that. In terms of, yeah.
And that goes to just like drag dialecting, like punctuation and the whole deal.
There is, there's surprisingly not that much. There are just a couple questions on grammar and punctuation. So we don't cover it a whole lot in this class. It is a little bit more of the reading and writing 1 class where we do grammar and punctuation, less so in here. However, if that is something that you are interested in, if you look under content, You'll see it's not part of the regular weeks of class, but there is a grammar and there's lots of exercises in here. And I've left them all in here too for people to not only explore on their own, but if I see something coming up in writing for the whole class, I'll be like, you know what? I'm noticing that people aren't using quotation marks correctly. Let's talk about that and go over it.
I think the big thing in a lot of it is the use of commas sometimes.
Commas, yeah.
Very, when you're writing, you say, oh
Yeah.
yeah, comma. You're like,
Right.
"Oh,
Where do
should
they
I
go?"
apply that?"
Yeah, great point. Thank you for bringing that up. Yeah. So not a lot of grammar, but it's there, and definitely ask questions. And if I'm noticing it in writing, we'll just pop into that from time to time. My instructional approach is really, I'm really here to help you get whatever you need out of this class. Okay. That's why it's casual. It's the beauty of not having real formal grades is that, we're just gonna like work on what you need to. So that said, if we get to the end of a class and you're like, I didn't really get that, or I need to work on that more, please let me know. Or we'll have conversations where like, is this what we ought to do today? And it might be like, no, we've kind of got that and let's move on. I'm just here because I want to help you. I'm still learning. This is not supposed to be a stressful class. So just know that I want to help you get wherever you need to be. I know that it can be anxiety provoking, as I mentioned, but don't worry. This is a very supportive environment, and we're going to kind of ease into more of the read aloud or share our writing. All right. Hi, Raquel.
Hi, Colleen. I made it.
Yeah, yay. Hey, Raquel, can I put you on the spot and ask you to introduce yourself? Just tell everybody your name, why you're here, and one thing about you.
Okay. Okay. Like, okay. Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry, we did that already, and I just I want everybody to see your lovely face and hear your voice and who you are.
Oh, you're good. Thank you. Sorry I came in late. My name's Raquel Rios. What else was it?
I'm
here for
are
my
you seeking
GED.
a GED?
Yeah, I'm here for my GED. And one thing about me is I have two daughters.
2 daughters. Awesome. Thanks, Raquel.
Yeah, thank you.
Raquel's been in my class before. She's wonderful. Okay. Cool. So some logistics. There are bathrooms just right across the hall from us. You just walk down that little walkway to the left. As I mentioned, right across from those bathrooms is where you take your GED test. So if you haven't done that before, there's a few locations around Portland, but if you're here, this is probably your most convenient location. So that's where you schedule them in advance and you go and take them right there. You do not need permission to use the bathroom or to step out to make a call or anything like that. You're all adults. So please, if there's something that you need to do and we haven't taken a break yet, just excuse yourself. It's totally fine. I totally get it. PCC is a smoke-free campus. So keep that in mind. Yes, I know that people have go over. Yeah. You cross the street by the transportation and just go a little further down. Yeah. And if you need breaks long enough to make sure that that happens, tell me. Like, go ahead and say, yeah, I don't want 10 minutes, I want 15 minutes or whatever. That's fine. Sometimes I'm trying to gauge between how fast people want to get out of here and how long of a break they need. So let me know what works for you when we take a break. Food and drink in here are totally okay. They're not when we go in the other room with computers. You can't have your stuff near the computers, but that's it. Just clean up after yourself, please. But I get it. It's evening, and if you want to bring dinner, that's totally okay, Fee waiver, transportation. Has anybody filled this out already? Do you know what that is?
I filled it, but they sent the email back to me again saying that I have to refill it out because my SNAP card didn't have my name on it. But it's not mine. I tried to explain it to them that it was my dad's and I'm just on it, but I still have to figure out how to figure that out.
Yeah. Yeah,
They're asking for
okay.
my name on the card and everything too, and my name, obviously my name's not on the card.
Yeah,
No.
Oh, you don't?
yeah, yeah, Angel.
I filled it out.
Uh-huh.
I went today in the morning to get it, but apparently there's something wrong because there's nothing in the system.
Ah,
Even though I got an email saying go, you can pick it up.
Go to
the
pick it up.
23rd, July 18th, I think,
and where are you supposed to pick it up at?
at Rock Creek.
At Rock Creek, like
I
in the
gave it to
bookstore?
Shauna called her,
Yeah.
yeah.
And what did Shauna say?
She's confused because they changed the whole system.
She's
They're not
confused.
allowing her to see anything.
Yeah. Me either. I don't have access to any of the stuff. So I'm frustrated. I'm sorry to hear that. Okay. So what this is supposed to do, if you don't know, is it's supposed to take you to a Google form that you fill out to, if you have any sort of public assistance whatsoever, then it will pay for this class. It will deduct it from your account and you can get some kind of transportation pass. So even though it's not working right now, I feel certain that they will resolve it one way or another. If you are taking classes other places and you were looking for parking, I know that they do not check parking the first week of class. They start doing it after that. But if you need to get this class paid for and you haven't done this yet, you can use your phone to do that. There's also a link on the homepage in D2L.
I assume it was already done, cause I had my bus pass and stuff.
Uh-huh.
I didn't have to do anything, but I'm pretty sure, what's her name might have already dealt with it.
Lauren did it for you? Mhm.
Because she asked me to come and get both our bus passes the other day.
Okay, okay, good. All right, so it's working if you have somebody helping you, sounds like. Yeah. Well, I hope they'll get it worked out. I wish I had more information for you on that, but I will check in with the powers that be and see what the story is on this. Okay. Okay, even if you are attending every time in person, you do need to be able to access my PCC, and that's why we're gonna do that assignment later, just to make sure everyone can. But it is so nice in case you have to be absent. Everybody has to be absent for one reason or another sometime. It is really wonderful to be able to get on and just access the stuff that you need if you have to be absent. So, anybody here never gotten onto my PCC before? You don't have to.
No, I made one.
Yeah, you had to have because, or you wouldn't be registered in this class. Yeah. Okay. So we'll work on that tonight and we might have to get IT on the phone. If anybody doesn't have a password or anything, they can do it real quick. We'll do it together. It will not be too painful. Anybody else never get on my PCC before? All right, let's go ahead. Yeah, it's 1:45. Let's take a break. Let's take a break until 7 o'clock and then we'll come back and continue talking about this stuff.
Colleen, I'm sorry, what time did it start at? Was it 6:30?
6 o'clock.
So all the. Yeah, I'll go for it.
We'll do that. Hopefully you'll get there.
Okay, let's bring it on back here. Welcome back, welcome back. I wanted to point out a couple more things in D2L and then we're going to talk about the GED and then we'll do the assignment. Okay. So under start here, this is where all kind of the vital course information lives in the D2L. Information about me that I'll open up because you can see some more stuff about me. Does it have my, nope, there's my email, but not my phone number. So let me tell you my phone number right now so you can text me if you need me. 503. He's got it. Okay. Anybody need something to write with? Sorry. Okay. 503-939-9882. Or you can email me. I send out school emails like pretty ringy. sorry, 939-9882. I will send emails to your PCC account probably like once a week, just general announcements, checking in, this and that. So please check your PCC email from time to time. Okay, this has just general stuff for our class again. Class times are Mondays, Wednesdays, 6 p.m. to 6:50 here in room 205, or you can attend via Zoom each time. There's no textbooks required for this class. All the material will be here and given out as needed. Assignments, pretty much every class, with the exception of when we have to take a CASAS test in here, there's going to be an assignment. They're not very long. There's something that most people can finish within 15 minutes. Okay. So another thing is that there's no other quizzes or grades going on in this class. I actually will score your assignments. All the assignments in here are worth 5 points until we get to the very last one, 10 points. This is new in here in terms of points. I used to just do completed, incomplete. Some people want more feedback than that, just on how that went, because I make notes, but this will have a little point system also. So every single assignment that we do in this class, and we can find them either in the content of the week that it's in, or you can look at assignments. But if we open them up, for example, here's information, and there is a rubric. Yeah. Here's the rubric. So a rubric is teacher language for how am I grading this? So as I said, they're all worth 5 points. We've got the concept, you've provided a particular example. This one, the length meets the length requirements, and there is examples provided. So it's always going to tell you exactly what you're getting graded on too. And we go over the assignment together before you start it. Okay. Yeah. Questions? Okay. By the way, if I didn't mention it already, I love people just shouting out questions. This is a casual class. Don't worry about interrupting me. I want you to know what you want to know. So please feel free to just shout out questions anytime. If it's something that we're going to get to a little later, I'll put you off for a minute, but I want to know where people have questions. PCC has great resources for so many things. Tutoring, tech, if you're having any help, any difficulty with computer access or using any of the things available to you at PCC, there's resources for that. Student life, accessibility. I have these well, bookmarks, they're called. Basic needs. So there are people here at PCC to help you with all kinds of things that you wouldn't even imagine. Paying your rent, paying electricity, legal problems, childcare. There is a food pantry at Rock Creek that is fantastic. They've got a whole big learning garden there, and they pull stuff out of the ground and off their trees and put it in the food pantry. There's no proof required that you need that food. It's just when it's open to you. And I encourage you all to do it, including that awesome learning garden up at Rock Creek. You can just help yourself and pick fruit off the trees. Just go in there and do it. It's gorgeous. So I encourage everybody to check that out. If you're having trouble with any of these things, let me know. I can try to help get you connected. I don't always know all the stuff about it, but how many people in here know Shauna Poppy? Yeah, okay. She's awesome. She has worked here a long time and she knows so much. So when I don't have the answer to things, Shauna does. Yeah. The next thing I want to point out to you is accounts and identification. Yeah, this is really valuable. So your My PCC account, you are going to need it again and again. I have like one of the lowest tech requirements at this college. Every other class that you move into gets deeper and deeper, may not allow you to turn in things on paper, etc. So just making sure that you know that, have access to it, it will continue to come up for you. Student ID is a great idea. No one has to have a student ID here, but I recommend you get it because you can get discounts all over the place. So Rock Creek has student ID. Here are the locations and requirements to get it. So the first card is free. If you have to replace it, it's $10. But like I get cheaper art supplies because I have a student ID. You know, you never know where it's going to come.
Dispensary discount shit. Crazy.
Yeah, unexpected, unexpected places to get discounts with a student ID. Mhm. Yeah, there's also, if you don't know, you can use it on to take shuttles from one campus to another for free. Use it in the computer lab. It's, yeah, the mascot is named Poppy and it is a panther for PCC. Yeah. The other account that we're going to create in here in it as assignment coming up is a GED.com account that's separate than your MyPCC stuff. So we'll get into that a little later. If you already have one, awesome. We need to make sure that it is linked to PCC so that I can see it and I can give you tests. If you are curious what we are doing each day, there is a specific weekly calendar that tells you what we're talking about that week and reminding you which assignments are due that week too. So if you miss class, you want to double check, that's a great way to do it. All of your grades will be found in here. If you're wondering if you're missing an assignment, you can check. If you hand in things on paper, I give my comments back to you on paper. The grade goes in here, but if you've turned it in online, then the comments will be online. And the last thing is if you needed a printable syllabus, it is there. And then here's just my quick notes for the things that you will see in D2L. And I like to point this out just because people are like, do I have to give that to you? Is that, if there is a symbol like this puzzle piece, it's an activity that we are doing together. It is not to be submitted to me. Only the things that have this assignment icon in here would be turned in. Lessons, videos, reading or handout, just so that you know what you're looking at, what you're about to open. Any questions about D2L or computer use? Okay. All right. Then I am going to go back and let's talk about the GED for a minute, and then we'll do our assignment. How many people have taken a GED test before? 2. That's it? Okay. And you have, yes? What test have you taken, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll just look at the test structure, what kind of things are on it, and what resources we have to do it. So again, speak up, don't hesitate to ask questions as we go. I'm going to kick this off by just doing a little kind of impromptu quiz. What do we know right now about the GED? It just helps kind of correct our misunderstandings about what's going on in the GED because it's changed a lot. If you don't know, it has changed. So people sometimes are operating under old information, maybe something that they have from some relative or someone else that's taken the test. So we're just going to make sure everybody knows what the story is right now. What do you think GED stands for? Yeah, General Education Diploma. Kind of weird one, right? I was surprised to find that out. I always thought it was an equivalency. It is equivalent to high school, but that's not what it's named for. It's General Education Diploma. Oh, I just said it all wrong. See, here's my first mistake. Are you ready? It is actually General Education Development, not diploma, development. Yeah, even more strange and surprising. It just stands for development. I think a lot of that comes from the fact that it was invented for World War II soldiers coming back and they didn't want to force them back into high school. They wanted to give them something else. So that's kind of the history of the GED, so that people didn't have to go back into high school after returning from war. And so in general education development, I don't know why it's called that. How many tests do you take to complete the GED? Yeah, 4. It used to be 5. Before that, it used to be 1.
What was the fifth one?
So they separated out reading and writing. Now they're together. Yeah.
Used to be 1 test.
It used to be 1 long test that people would just take in an afternoon. Yeah. Yeah.
I need that one.
Yeah. Get it over with, right? So now it's language arts, math, science, and social studies. They're all different lengths of time too. Some are really long, some are pretty quick. What do you think, true or false? You have 3 tries to pass the test. False. You have an unlimited number of times to pass the test.
Used to be like 2, I think.
Right now, it's you do it 2 times. If you fail 2 times of the same test in a row, you have to wait 60 days, but that's it. Then you can keep going. That's true for every test. And note that if you don't pass one of the tests, it has no bearing on any other tests that you've already passed. Yeah.
I might have to end up leaving.
What time?
Like 8:20.
Okay, we'll be wrapped up by then.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks. Montez, right?
Montez.
Montez.
Yeah.
Thank you. Montez. Tez. Okay, cool. Okay. Spelling and grammar are important parts of the test? Not so much. Not so much. So there's just just a couple questions about spelling and grammar. That's why we don't spend a ton of time in here. I mean, I want it to be as a good part of your writing, right? Moving forward, but you're not going to be tested on that very much.
Did you used to be? I felt like you used to be.
I think it used to be, yeah.
I think that was some of it. That's why I was asking about the placement of commas and stuff.
Yes, yeah. I think it's like it's so insanely unfair that they only provide the GED test in English and Spanish. And so I think part of like getting away from the grammar is to assist second language speakers and not have it be about English so much.
So it's
But
not so much about one big old run-on sentence no more, right?
no, it's about how you think more than anything else. So I do.
I'm Hispanic and I speak more than 2 languages, but what, I mean, this is, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Shouldn't the GED be in English only? Because why would it be in Spanish? Like just Spanish, the whole test, right? You're not really learning the English.
But there's a lot of places in the US that you just really don't need to speak English.
That's true.
So, catering. Unfortunately, though, even though they provide the test in Spanish, most Spanish speakers do not care for it's like Spain Spanish rather than Mexico Spanish. And so a lot of people that are Spanish speakers choose to take it in English anyway, because the language is so not familiar to them the way that it's written. Have you heard that before?
That's the difference between the two, really?
Pretty big difference.
Okay.
Pretty big difference.
It's like saying English for
Yeah.
England and English for
Also note that if anybody wanted to take any test in Spanish, it doesn't give you a Spanish GED. You have your GED. And I know people that have taken some subjects in Spanish and some subjects in English. It doesn't matter. Yeah. You just like whatever works, any combination that works. Okay, what do you think the format are for the GED test questions? Fill in short answer, multiple choice, graphic hotspot, or
Probably all of the above.
It's all of the above. Yeah, it's mostly multiple choice. But they're also trying to give you like a test of your computer skills, just generally, not specifically. Like, can you get through a web page? Can you click on something and drag it to a position? Can you click and put? So it's kind of like mouse skills and that sort of thing.
You're being graded overall in your computer skills too, you just don't know.
Yeah, exactly. You are kind of, because yeah, if you're really slow and not used to it and not using a mouse, it's going to slow you down. It's going to harm your score. Yeah. Calculators allowed during the test?
On that.
Yeah.
True, yeah.
Doesn't it
Math
have
tests,
that, like,
but
little icon thing at the top of it too?
they do. So here you can bring in a physical calculator if it is the correct calculator. So it's, they use it in math classes here. It's TI-30XS.
School, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it's a school calculator. You can often find them at Goodwill for that reason, because people leave school and, you know, their parents turn them to Goodwill. Probably, it has been ever since I've been working in GED. But you can use it on the science and social studies test too, if it's appropriate, and they have an icon to open it up if you don't have a physical one with you. That's a nice thing about, they're not trying to like catch you in mistakes per se, you know? They're testing how you think and can you arrange it? Could you put it into the calculator correctly? On the math test, there's just 5 questions that are no calculator, that aren't that heavy calculation. You know, they're just really not that. Is that your experience? They just weren't like, they weren't super calculaty kind of questions, the no calculator ones. A little bit. They have some multiplication with decimals sometimes, just to like a small number. Okay, true or false GED test timed? Yeah, that's probably the hardest part about this test, is you've got to go through it pretty quickly. It averages out to be about 2 minutes per question, and there's often some longer reading. So it's you know, like your test taking strategies are a big part. Yeah. Tables and graphs covered on which of the following?
Probably like everything right there, so.
Math, social studies, I haven't done here.
Yeah, it's a little bit in reading and science as well. So we'll do that a little bit in here, but definitely if you are not familiar or comfortable with graphs and charts, that's something to take a look at. The payoff is huge. This just speaks to your question about you can only miss a couple. What do you think? You can miss 15% of the questions and still pass?
I'm pretty sure it's,
Yeah. No.
it's more.
It's more. It's more. So the scoring is ambiguous. What I mean is they don't tell you like how many points certain questions are worth, and some are worth more than others, but we don't get to find out what they are. But you can miss almost half of the questions and still pass. The reason is this. I know that sounds like, why would they do that? That's insane. So they made the test in 2014 much harder, just like high school got harder. So the whole test got harder, but they lowered the passing score. So passing used to be 150, now it's 145. So you get a 145 on all of them. The scoring goes up to 200 points. If you were to score super high on there, it shows colleges that you are ready for college, and or you could get credit at some colleges for the reading and the math if you score high enough. So the idea is, it used to be that once you had your GED, it really wasn't accepted very much at colleges. You probably couldn't go to college. That is not true anymore at all. Because the GED has gotten so much more challenging, it is absolutely accepted at colleges. And so if you're planning to attend a competitive college, you kind of want to get that higher GED score. So they are doing it like, okay, this is high school equivalent. If we're getting up in the upper echelons, it's like, no, they are so ready to go to any tough college. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I like people to know that, because you're going into these tests and sometimes you'll see questions where you're like, we didn't talk about that in class. I don't know this. This is so much harder than that's for those people who are just super, super advanced. It's not the passing level. You get me? Yes. So it's really great to have a strategy. If it's asking you something that you feel like, and this is way more true in like the math and some of the science, more so than the language arts, we're going to cover everything that you see on the language arts test. But on math and science, sometimes there's just some like high up there kind of questions. So just know that like you can miss a lot. So if a question looks crazy, don't waste your time on it. Make a guess and move on. that's that. Good job. Good job taking a guess. So the structure of the tests, as we said, it was created in the 40s. It's evolved. Now it's just these 4 tests, and they are much more accepted in colleges and careers. Once you take these tests, your scores stay in your account like forever, that somebody can go back and check that you really have it. You can get like little seals to put on things in your like.
Is there a way to print, let's see, once we do all 4 GED tests, is there a way to print something out or?
Absolutely, you can print something out.
do
Yeah,
get
and they
cards?
mail you like a GED diploma.
Oh, they actually.
They
mail
do.
it.
Once you've hit them all, they send it. So make sure that the whatever address you have is accurate, because that's what happens at the end once you hit them all. But yeah, and you can go in there and print more stuff out too once you've got it.
I wish I could have killed all Adam scores.
Yeah, I know.
Done.
Yeah.
Would've been done.
It's so frustrating. So the passing again is 145 or above. There's only one place to take the GED. It's GED.com. There's a lot of garbage on the internet about the GED that isn't true. If you really want to know something about the GED, that's the only place to find the absolutely up-to-date, accurate information. GED.com. At least it's easy to find. Testing centers, like I said, it's right over here. The tests right now cost $48 each, but you can get vouchers from us. We can get them paid for. So please don't buy stuff on your own when you can get it for free. Okay. You have to have a government issued ID. You have to be at least 16 years old. If you're under 18, you have to have something signed that's from your parents that says that you can take the GED. That's all. Yeah, it's either parental or school. So if people, if you are 16 and you're still in high school, they can say, yeah, I got it. You can go take your GED. You have to make a scheduled appointment to take those tests. They're not just all the time. You have to look on the schedule. Once we give you a voucher, it sits in your account, you click on it, and then you set up your own appointment. Okay. GED testing centers are here. They have to be scheduled in advance. You absolutely have to bring your government issued ID with you. When you create your GED account, you've got to make sure that the name is exactly what's on your ID, or you will not be able to test. They're really strict about all kinds of like no cheating stuff and lateness. It's canceled, so you got to treat it like you're going to the airport or something. Have that level of ID. And they're going to check all your stuff like you're going through TSA or something like that.
You get there an hour before your test, so that you do it.
Yeah, that's not bad. Get there an hour before just to be sure that you've arrived, huh?
And they'll let you do it.
They'll let you do it early? Okay. Hot tip. Nice. You can also take these tests remotely. Like if you don't want to come into a testing center and you've got a computer at home that can run videos and do the test at once, you can set up that appointment. Some people love it. I would find that more stressful personally, because they've got to I don't know, it's just somebody watching you the whole time. And but if like you're more comfortable at home, that's an option. So whichever you want, we just need to know when we give it, because there are different kinds of vouchers. The classes, again, you'll be able to take tests for science and social studies in here also if you want to. There really isn't a connection between the classes and the tests insofar as these classes help you prepare for those tests, but it doesn't mean you don't have to have a class to qualify for a test. Anybody can take GED tests whenever they want to. This is just to help.
You can go to college prep classes without your GED.
Can you go to college credit class? Yeah, you can. Yeah, you absolutely can. Yeah. Yeah. It's probably hard to do out of order that way, but you totally can. Yeah. That's what the calculator looks like if you want to pick one up for math.
Not clear, like at least since
the
80s.
Yeah. Okay, they do give accommodations if you were in school, if you had accommodations when you were in school, if you have a particular health issue right now, or a mental health issue right now, or a learning difficulty, and you have documentation of it. That's the hard part for adults, because people often don't have, unless you're being medicated for something, you often don't have documentation. But if you are, or if you did, you can get an accommodation. And what that means often is more time. They might give you time and a half, or you can ask for things like a private room if you're really distracted by other test takers around you. Not easy to get approved for accommodations, but it does happen. So if that's of your interest, let me know early so that we could get that ball rolling on that. You're gonna know almost immediately if you passed or not. That's true for practice tests and the official ones. Did they tell you you passed when you walked out of the room?
No, some of the tests takes like 45 minutes to an hour.
Okay.
Then you're
Okay,
nervous.
45 minutes to an hour. So not bad though. You're not waiting a super long time. And they'll send it to your phone, right? But you gotta, so you'll know pretty soon. There it is. Test is in English or Spanish. This is what I would say about the good and bad about this test. It has all the usual standardized testing garbage. It is absolutely biased toward white America. It is challenging vocabulary, expensive, and the time constraint is super stress inducing for people. That's why I love people doing practice tests, because I think that helps reduce your stress a little bit, more success. So I'm happy to give out practice tests. The good things about it is that it is not about memorization or what you have like stored in your brain. It is just about how you think, you know? It's like critical thinking is way more important. You're not meant to memorize anything. More tangible than abstract. What I mean, often on the math test even, it's like real life examples instead of just like crazy math stuff that we don't know what they're talking about. So most of the time it's pretty life-based. It's about identifying bias, which is useful for all humans, perspective, purpose, some civic and environmental issues. Okay. Math test tends to be the hardest one for people. Not always. Some people are just like, they love math, and so that's the way to go. I like what Angel said, that he was kind of focusing on one test at a time. Is that right? I like that plan too. I mean, even though in here we're talking about multiple subjects and kind of preparing for multiple subjects, it's really all about reading. That's why we're preparing for multiple subjects, is because those other 3 tests are so largely just reading tests also. But this one tends to be the hardest for people to get through, and it's often the last one people do. It's a long test, and you'll notice that there's a lot of algebra in there. A lot of algebra, a lot of geometry. So the basic math is a pretty small section. Language arts, what we're going to do, there's a little bit of literature and poetry, but mostly it's just factual nonfiction reading that we're looking for information from. It's the longest test, and it's because it has that 45 minutes for an essay. I really encourage, I want everybody to be able to write good essays, but please do not let it stop you from taking the test. If you're stressed about it, I do happen to know people that did the exam, wrote like nothing for their essay, left. Like, you can still pass even if the essay's you got to put something in there, or it's not sure if it scores it, but you don't really have to finish the essay. I mean, I don't like to discourage people from being great writers, but don't let it stop you from taking the
Do they
test.
just like still give you a topic?
Yeah. It is not just out of the blue. They give you 2 arguments. You are assessing who has a stronger argument and just writing about that. So you're never just coming up with something on your own.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Science test, this is the one people pass the fastest usually. It's a short exam. The questions are really straightforward. So you're not trying to interpret language of like, well, do they mean this, or do they, you know what they mean when they ask the question. So that's why that one tends to be the easiest for people. So I encourage that. And then the social studies one has a little bit of geography. When it says US history, it's really like going to reference some things in US history. It's not asking you to come up with dates, names, stuff like that. Okay.
And basically, the answers are all in the questions, it's just how, it's.
They are, yeah.
Able to read it correctly, it's all there.
It's all there. It's all there. The exceptions that I would say on the social studies, there's a couple exceptions. One is they do want you to know how government works, just the basic stuff of government. What are the three branches? What are checks and balances? Just some things about that. And then another weird, hard thing that they have in the social studies test, I don't know if you saw it, they will do sometimes political cartoons, which are really hard to interpret.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
That,
Yeah.
it's one of the questions that it asked was like, interpret this painting or something
Ugh,
like that.
yeah.
Which I honestly don't understand.
Yeah. It's so hard to teach anything about because who knows what it's going to be on. So that all I can say is I'm sorry. We can look at some stuff in here and I can, help guide, but those are just really tough questions to answer. And it isn't something that you can really come in with knowledge about. It's to make a good
Once
guess.
you mentioned the political cartoons, I mean, you pretty much have to be like a full-blown politician sometimes. to know what's-
Sometimes they're referencing things that are very old. And
Yeah.
it's like, you had to know what the politics was 10 years ago. Well,
And you know
Yeah.
that.
yeah.
This guy.
So, a place that you can, just without scheduling a practice test, you can see test previews. This is in GED. Whenever you go to GED.com, you'll just see under study that there's test previews. So you can just do like 10 little quick questions just to get a feel for what the questions are like. You can do that anytime. And they have the answers and why it's correct also. Doesn't give you a score, but you'll just like go, I think I'd pick B. And then you click on the answers and it shows you which one's right and why. All practice tests are half the length of the official tests. They can be taken at home any time that you want to do that. And it usually provides a score almost within minutes on a practice test. It's a really great measure of how you're good. It's generally a really good predictor of how you're going to score. So that's why you have to have a passing practice test before you can get the voucher for the official. Okay. And then your scores are in GED.com forever. My scores, it'll keep your practice test scores separate from your official test scores. You can check anytime. It will just update with the highest score on there.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So in order to get the voucher for the actual GED test, I know we have to take this practice GED test first, but in math, we have to take CASAS test.
Yes.
Or do we also have to take the CASAS test?
CASAS tests do something entirely different. That is how all of these classes are funded. So everybody's got to take CASAS tests. We'll do it at the end of the year. It's just like to see kind of where you at. There is some kind of like equivalency between GED and CASAS, but not really. They're kind of testing different things. So that's CASAS is just the name for it. It's a nationwide adult education test. That's just checking. It's only for math and reading. And we do it every term one way or another. And it's just keeping track really of how many students we have, seeing the progress that they make. And that's how these classes are funded, because the adult ed classes cost like 1/4 of the price of other college classes. And that's due to funding. So yeah, we'll have to do CASAS also. Testing on a computer is always good practice though. For the GED, it's always good practice. Once you have finished a GED practice test, you will not know which questions you missed, but it does give you the kinds of questions you missed. So it gives you a score report and it'll tell you things to study or work on. So I can see that too when I get access to your account. So that's like, sometimes I can help come up with, let's get you some more information on that topic. Okay. All right, resources, we've got them in here. These are people that I worked with that graduated, so fun. All right, what questions do you have now that I've just talked and talked and talked? No? Okay, let's look at the assignment for tonight then. The assignment for tonight is just my way to get to know you. You will go into your My PCC. So if you can do it on your phone, you can do it when you get home on your computer if you prefer, or if you would like to do it right now, I will end our Zoom time after we know what's going on, and whoever wants to can come over to the computer lab with me and do that. Okay. I'm just trying to get, more information from you. So what you might be registered, your registered name for this class, what you like to be called, so that I can get used to what you want to be called. Preferred pronouns. Are you seeking a GED? Everybody said yes already. What's your career education plan? Sometimes that helps me if there's like a choice of assignments or readings. Like if I know what people want to do, sometimes I'll kind of like gear it toward interests. It doesn't always work out, but it's nice to know. This is the important ones right here. What would you like me to know that would make your learning experience better? Sometimes people say like, I don't ever want to read out loud. Sometimes people say, I just need, more time, or I want help with, one thing or another. Just let me know, whatever it might be that might help you have a better experience in here. And the best way to contact you and include that contact information. I've got your PCC email. I know people don't always check that. Really, the only reason that I want this last bit of information is if I was like sick and it was late and I didn't want you to have to come here because class was canceled. It's only happened once in the last 4 years, but I feel terrible when people take a trip to, yeah, you never know. So let me know how I can let you know fast, like if the class is canceled, or, whether something like that, if class is canceled, I want to let you know. That's the only reason I would contact you another way.
And we can do this from home?
Absolutely. So you would log into My PCC, this class, reading and writing. If you see these cubes up here, that stores all your classes. Mine shows a lot of stuff, but you may only have 1 or 2 things in here. So this is us, advanced language arts, reading, writing. When you get into that, pick on assignments. And this is about you. Okay. The other way, there's always 2 ways to get to assignments. If you go to content and you do week 1 and you go to course introduction. So again, the first link in here is always Monday. The second link's always Wednesday. If we open these up and go to the end, it has the assignment too. Okay. Any questions about the assignment? Yeah. So My PCC, yeah, here, yeah. Once you log into My PCC, if you were going into D2L, see this little computer up here? Yeah, that takes you to D2L stuff. Oh, it's making me log in again, but you would just log in and end up there. All right. If everybody is feeling good about that, then I am going to end this recording.